Hey everyone, Matthew Robinson, back again. Now, I know I haven't made a video in a while, and I didn't make one this weekend, but I had a lot of stuff going on. I just finished taking my final exam. It was a theater exam. I think I did alright. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys and answer some of your questions that you guys have been asking me to talk about. So, in this video I'll be talking about Spider-Man 3, and the Spider-Man franchise, and the upcoming Spider-Man movies. I'll also be talking about the new Watchmen trailer, which I've seen. Okay, so let's get down to business. Let's talk about Spider-Man. First of all, Spider-Man, I'm biased because Spider-Man is my favorite comic book hero of all time. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is just like, I don't know, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. And the first Spider-Man was really cool. I really love Spider-Man. That was an experience I'll never forget. I love the first Spider-Man. That was really well done. William Dafoe was excellent. Spider-Man 2 was great, and up until the creation of The Dark Knight, I would consider Spider-Man 2 the greatest superhero movie ever made. So I would say now it's the second greatest superhero movie ever made. Spider-Man 2 is great. It's one of those movies where like it really helped take superhero movies to a new level with Spider-Man 2. Dr. Octopus played brilliantly by Alfred Molina. Then Peter Parker and his relationship with Mary Jane is well structured throughout the entire film. And so now I'm going to talk about Spider-Man 3. Now Spider-Man 3 gets a bad rap. A lot of people did not like Spider-Man 3. I'm one of probably the people in the minority who actually like Spider-Man 3. Now I do not think Spider-Man 3 is great, and out of all three of the movies, Spider-Man 3 is definitely the worst. However, it's not a terrible movie. It's actually quite entertaining if you ask me. Some things that could have been done to make it better that they messed up with Spider-Man 3 was one, Sandman just wasn't that interesting of a villain. Also, Venom was kind of just made into like this little punk, you know. Venom really didn't have a lot to do. He was in it in the movie for about like 10 minutes worth of screen time. And it just didn't feel necessarily like Venom. It was kind of disappointing. I think, and since a lot of people, Venom is their favorite Spider-Man villain, I think they were really sad that he didn't get a whole movie devoted to him. Another thing that they really messed up with Spider-Man 3, they made it too much about Mary Jane's problems. In the first Spider-Man, we kind of touched on it, and even in the second Spider-Man, we kind of touched on Mary Jane's problems. But it was still more about Peter Parker's problems. And the third movie wasn't really enough about Peter Parker's problems, and it was too much about Mary Jane's problems. And Kirsten Dunst is a great actress. I think she's really good playing Mary Jane, but it just wasn't there. I can't really describe it, but there wasn't that emotion there. We just didn't have the connection with her. We didn't feel sorry for her as much as we did with Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2. So that was one big flaw of the third movie. They did the same. They tried to do the same thing they did with Peter Parker in the second movie that they did with Mary Jane in the third movie, and it just didn't quite gel. And there, some people would criticize like some of the goofy antics that Peter Parker did, but if you actually read the comics, that's how Peter Parker was when he had that black symbiote suit. He thought he was the coolest cat around, but he really looked like a complete goofball to some people. But he thought he looked so cool. So I like that part of the movie, actually. And I love the scene where he's dancing. That's hilarious. Other thing that Spider-Man 3 kind of lacked, besides the little part with Stan Lee, Spider-Man 2 had a lot of great cameos. First of all, you had Bruce Campbell, who played the ticket guy, and Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell worked together on, of course, the Evil Dead series. Also, you have the beautiful and talented Emily Deschanel, who appears as a receptionist in Spider-Man 2. So that was something that Spider-Man 3 kind of lacked. It kind of let the sprinkled star power that the second one had. Something I didn't know until recently, Elizabeth Banks plays, I forgot, the secretary at the Daily Bugle. Which I had no idea about. So now Sam Raimi, he was at the Benjamin Button premiere, and I saw on Rio's channel that Sam Raimi says that the script is being finalized and soon they get to work. Tobey Maguire will reprise his role as Spider-Man, which is good because I think really Tobey Maguire is the best choice for Spider-Man at this moment. Now there's no word on Kirsten Dunst, and actually I've heard rumors that Kirsten Dunst and Tobey don't get along that well, and so Kirsten's not going to be in the next Spider-Man movies. And I have mixed feelings about that. On one hand, I thought that Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire had great on-screen chemistry and were very believable as Peter Parker and Mary Jane. On the other hand, I'm sure there are plenty of other people who can play Mary Jane. Mary Jane, though she gets a lot of screen time and she's actually made more of a complex character, she really isn't that entirely complex. So I don't think they really need like an outstanding actress to play her, just one who's good enough. But I would like to see a new actress too. That could work. But I do like Kirsten Dunst, and I would be very happy if she stayed on to the Spider-Man franchise. Okay, moving on quickly to the Watchmen trailer. Now, when I saw the first Watchmen trailer, I was very put off by it. Now, I had not read the Watchmen comics at that point, but the Watchmen trailer I saw right before I saw The Dark Knight, and I was not impressed. It seemed too pretentious, and it seemed like it was too much. It was this elite movie that was just standing on a mountaintop and saying, "This is the greatest graphic novel of all time. Thus, this will be the greatest superhero movie of all time," which just really came off wrong to me. After, of course, The Dark Knight began to circulate, I think they kind of changed their tune. Now they're just saying this is going to be great, and it's going to be a groundbreaking superhero movie in the fact of what the direction it takes superhero movies. Though to be fair, Alan Moore was once who wrote The Watchmen once was quoted as saying that he didn't want people to try to mimic The Watchmen. The Watchmen was supposed to be a kind of this disassembly of the superhero genre, and it was only supposed to be like a one-time thing or something that was sparingly used, but a lot of people started using it their own, and he actually did not like that. So I have mixed feelings about it, but the new trailer that they have, the latest trailer, does look really cool. It gives us I think it's a much better trailer. I think it's something that gets people excited for it, and I'm excited to see this Watchmen movie. Now, I have read the graphic novel now, and the graphic novel is, as everyone says, probably one of the best graphic novels ever written. And I don't want to give up any information or spoil anything, but if they can make it any good as good as the graphic novel, it will be a fantastic comic book movie. Let's not jump the gun and say this will be better than Spider-Man 2 or Dark Knight or Iron Man, but it should be good. I'm looking forward to it, and I think everyone else should be looking forward to it. I'm still not looking forward to The Spirit. I might see it in theaters just so I can give a review on it. I'm still not looking forward to it, but I am looking forward to Watchmen. Anyway, that's all I have time to talk to you about now. Make sure to keep watching my Adventures of Matthew Robinson episodes. I'll talk to you guys later. Remember, until next time, it's all in there.